In the post-COVID world of business and marketing, there's only one question that matters. What's Sizzlin? Welcome to What's Sizzlin, the podcast that discusses current business and marketing strategies, regardless of the size of your company or industry you're in. We have new guest stars each episode that talk about their business and reaching their target market in their vertical and what they do to overcome their challenges. I'm your host, Mitch Levinson, founder and thought leader of Creative Sizzle. As always, with me is Lauren Pond, our SEO specialist and office manager.
Hi, Mitch. Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited today because it's a great topic that everyone likes to talk about. It's vacations, something that people haven't done for a long time.
Yeah, everybody likes to, wants to go on vacation, but it's always the planning part that's the hard part.
Yeah, no, really excited to have our guest star today on the show is Sandra Chu with the Enchanted Traveler. So Lauren, for our listeners out there today, tell me what your first experience or impression was when you first met Sandra.
So when I first met her, I really enjoyed listening to her story as to how she got into the travel segment. I felt bad for her, thinking that, she was kind of like the Home Alone movie and National Lampoon's Vacation. I mean, you watch those movies, you never really think that really happens in real life till you hear her story. And what I'm really impressed with is that she's a certified autism travel professional, because there's so many families, I think, that kind of steer away from doing vacations. I was very impressed with that she helps families so they can go on vacation.
Yeah, definitely. With an autistic stepson and being in that community, I definitely understand how much easier it is when you go someplace that understands the challenges that you're in and knows how to handle it, especially with, there's a lot of leeway in terms of where you can be on the spectrum. And certainly even with Joey as a highly functional and very social and interactive with people and outgoing and like to do things, he still has his things, certainly, but going to a place that understands that and knows how to give them a great experience and can work with you and is very patient is definitely important. So I'm really looking forward to talking with Sandra about not only scheduling those kinds of vacations and Disney and autistic travel and tropical vacations and adult only stuff like that, but also talking with her about some of the changes that have been happening in the industry with COVID and how it was closed down for a while and nobody wanted to travel. And then, everything opens up again and people want to travel a lot and they're kind of, sort of traveling to quarantine and, all those things. I can't even imagine all the changes that are coming down in the industry for her and the travel business because, it's definitely been hit much differently than a lot of other businesses.
Right. And that's the struggle right now for people. Should they travel? Where should they go? And it's nice to have somebody that you can bounce these ideas off of as to where is the best place to go. If you're just going with a spouse, a significant other, or you want to take your family, it's good to have somebody that you can have help guide you as to where the places to go.
Yeah. And the other thing that I like about talking to a travel agent like Sandra is, where should you go? In the past, before COVID, I've thought, there's a lot of places that are on my bucket list. There's a lot of places I want to see, things I want to do, the different kinds of vacations. So I want to go on a vacation where I'm going to do nothing but lay at the beach or the pool. Do I want to go on a vacation where we're going to see the sights? Am I going to go to some place that tells lots of stories like Disney? What kind of experience do I want to have when I go? And, talking that out with not only the people I'm going with, but also with someone that, knows a lot about the world is definitely important. So we're going to take a little break. We're going to talk with Sandra Chu with the Enchanted Traveler. So stay tuned. Are you a company looking to offer a trade show or a training program or have some other company event but don't know how? Contact Sheena Lynn Majette with SLM Education Solutions at slmeducationsolutions.com and she can help. She offers innovative ways to program events and have events with positive outcomes. Whether you are looking for a format for an education seminar or for a daily event or for a trade show, contact Sheena Lynn Majette and she can help at slmeducationsolutions.com.
This episode of Creative Sizzle is brought to you by The Gym. Instead of building up your muscle, we want to help you build up your brand. Come to us for the best and latest in marketing innovations. And now, back to What's Sizzlin' podcast.
Welcome back to What's Sizzlin'. In this episode, we're going to talk with Sandra Chu with the Enchanted Traveler. Sandra, thanks for being on the show.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Lauren and I are really excited to have you here today talking about travel. We referenced in the opening segment some of your experience of what brought you into the business and why you like to help people with their travel. So give us a short description of your European vacation style first travel experience.
My family growing up didn't really travel. We had a cottage. That's what we did. When we did travel, it was not good. My family are exactly the type of people who would have needed my services today. I was telling you when I was little, we had gone on a tropical vacation. We were always late, never planned well. And I remember when I was 7 being in the airport, my sister is much older than me, so I'm much smaller than everybody else. And my family rushing through the airport, leaving me behind. And I remember the crowd closing in around me and not being able to see my family and crying, and then strangers helping me. It was very stressful. And then my family coming running back, yelling, why can't you keep up? And just like Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone 2, I think it was. And then I was telling you my European vacation story was exactly National Lampoon's European vacation. We did a 2-week vacation the summer that I had turned 18 before I left for school. And we had flown to London, and then we were taking the ferry to France. And that's the only way you could get there at that time, was before the Channel. So we had flown overnight. My father was driving, you're driving on the other side of the road. The stick shift is on the other side of the car. And we were on the ferry. My father put the car in gear, smashed into the car in front of us, and then rolled back and smashed into the car behind us. So that's how we started our vacation. So when people ask what's something people don't know about you, I always say I've been in a car accident on a boat in international waters. That's how we started. And then we drove that car all around Europe, smashed in on both ends.
So does that make that not illegal, or nobody got a ticket because you can't give a ticket in international waters for driving?
Well, I don't recall any police involvement, but people are yelling at you in a number of different foreign languages. And so that was how we started. We did safely get to our hotel after that, but we lost our traveler's checks and passports twice on that vacation. We ended up at the embassy, just getting everything back just in time before everything closed. My family knew that you can just go through Europe casually, going from bed and breakfast to bed and breakfast. So they didn't make any reservations. There was one night where we almost had to sleep in the car because we couldn't find anything. Ultimately, we found something like 2 hours away from where we were intending to be, out in the country. So we didn't actually do any of the things that we were supposed to do. And then later on in the vacation, it had been a pretty overwhelming vacation. My father, I remember he had parked the car. We were sitting in the car waiting for him. He was going to run into a store to do something. And I heard this thump, and he had stepped out in traffic. He got hit by a car. So we had that. What else?
Amazing. It's amazing. It's like, it's like your last name was Griswold. It's your dad was Clark. And
exactly.
And I'm surprised you even started to travel after that, but nothing like spending your entire vacation planning what you're going to do on your vacation instead of doing that to begin with. So I can definitely understand why you like to help people with their travel. And what we do is autistic travel. So do you want to talk a little bit about some of the places out there that are good for families who travel with autistic kids or adults?
Sure. So I am a certified autism travel professional with the International Board of Credentialing and Continuing Education Standards, the IBCCES, what's referred to as autism travel, but is really sensory travel. Autism is a spectrum. And in reality, we're all on the spectrum. So it's actually serving everyone's kind of individual needs. That was becoming a major trend in travel before everything shut down. So it's not particularly well known in the public, but in the travel industry, it has been quite a movement for the last few years. So there are destinations and cruise lines and tour operators that are all certified as autism friendly. The beaches resorts, which are the family version of Sandals, they're extra level certified. They have done extra. They have one of the highest certifications out there. Several theme parks are certified. For example, SeaWorld. If you were to go to SeaWorld, each ride at SeaWorld, in order to achieve the certification, each ride and attraction and experience is certified on each of the 5 senses. So you might think, should I take my child on this ride? So you can actually look at the guide and you can say, well, it's 5 in terms of noise, but it's a 3 in terms of movement, and it's got strobe lights. So that's a 2 over here on this. And you can evaluate how your family is going to experience that. And then they also have to have like certain quiet areas, certain specific designated areas, and easier ways to get through the crowds and things like that. So there's this whole resource out there for people. Some of the cruise lines are certified. Royal Caribbean Cruise Line is certified. One of the things that they will do is, and you would think these giant cruise ships would be a nightmare, but in reality, they can get you checked in 15 minutes. You get sort of like a concierge level pre-boarding experience. And so all these things are planned for you. They know this family has these needs. We've done this in advance. And so it just makes everything much easier. And a lot of people don't know there's a program called Wings for Autism through the TSA. So it's going to be different at every airport, and you might not have something available at your local airport, but there is the opportunity to notify the TSA that you're coming and have a reserved time. Sometimes you can actually go in advance and have, a practice run through on a different day so that the child will understand what's going to happen. There are even from time to time in certain major airports events where you can bring your family and they'll actually let all the different families come and board the plane, go through the safety check, have that experience so that they know when they return on a different day to travel, they're not doing it under pressure.
Yeah, it's interesting when you travel with someone that has autism or regardless of where they are on the spectrum, the amount of time that it takes to do something to accomplish a goal is really important and very significant, even for those that are highly functional. The amount of time that they wait doing nothing or standing in line is hard because they're always active. They're trying to do something, and they kind of sometimes, in my experience, they really don't ever stop. So finding ways to make it easier and safer for not only those families, but the families that aren't traveling with someone like that, make it a great place to visit because it's good for everyone. And going through that dry run through or, waiting in a shorter line or scheduling a time to do those activities like boarding the cruise ship or going through TSA to schedule time, very important to save everyone from a meltdown or a very difficult public situation. So if you're listening and you travel under those circumstances, it's great to get someone like Sandra who has experience in that. So let's shift gears a little bit and we'll talk about, I know that you do a lot of travel for Disney and that's really where you specialize, although you do a lot of other types of things. So it's not the only thing that you do, but you do a lot of it. And, there's a lot of people out there, my sister and brother-in-law, they are Disney fanatics. They have 3 daughters. Their youngest is in high school already, junior, and their older 2 are in college. And they still go once or twice a year without the kids to Disney. I mean, they just love it. Now, not my thing, and it's certainly theirs, and it's all good. And people love what they love and all that. And they're not unique. There are a lot of people out there that just, love Disney. And I'm a huge fan of Disney's animated cartoons. I've seen them all. I love them all. Some of them I can recite from the very beginning. I can certainly sing most of the songs, although not well. But tell me a little bit about, what kind of travel that you plan for with Disney and some of the exciting and most fun things to do for those listeners that are thinking about going to Disney.
So for a Disney World vacation, if you've never been, people will often think, well, how hard can it possibly be? So statistics that put it in perspective for people, 45 million people in a normal year visit Disney World every year. So that is a lot of people. Magic Kingdom can hold up to 25,000 people, I think it is, at one time. So there's a lot of people there. The average person walks 8 miles in a park per day. So if you're going to walk 8 miles, then make it 8 good miles where you're doing 20 rides, not 8 miles where you ran across the park and you only got on 3 things. So for a Disney World vacation, it's also quite common to plan a year in advance because there are so many people going. People come from all around the world, and it's an iconic family vacation. It's like an experience that people have on their family. Yeah,
and it's not only the rides; it's like everything that you do there. You have to eat meals with the princesses, and you have to go and see all the activities. And it's not just the Magic Kingdom; it's everywhere else. There's a lot more to it than just going to the theme park and experiencing some of the rides.
Absolutely. And so things are a little bit different right now, but in normal times, dining reservations for Disney World open 180 days before you travel. So as long as you've got a reservation booked. So that's 6 months before travel. And in this time zone, that's 5 a.m. So I, as a Disney planner, am making your dining reservations at 5 a.m. because Cinderella's royal table will be gone by 5:30. So I do that at 5 a.m. And you need to be doing the big stuff at that 180-day mark. Otherwise you won't get it. So definitely things are definitely sold out. There are a lot of different experiences that people don't really realize are there. And there are, Disney World, people think of it as sort of a Six Flags if they've never been, but Disney World is actually the size of San Francisco. So it's twice the size of Manhattan. So where you stay affects what you're going to be able to do. So you want to have planned out what you're going to do and then figured out which resort is going to be best for you to allow you to get there in time to experience the rope drop, the early morning things when you can get through the rides faster. And so you can spend your time efficiently. There are also things to think about, like if you've got small kids, say you've got like 3 kids under 5, that's a totally different experience than traveling with teenagers. All the resorts are not created equal. They're all fabulous and they all have unique reasons to stay there. But if you are someone with the 3 little kids, you probably want to stay at a resort that's on the monorail or maybe on the boardwalk where you can actually walk into the parks or take the monorail and be quicker, roll your kids on and off in their stroller without having to wake them up. It's a totally different experience and you'll have more time in the park. Some of the resorts are actually quite huge and you have to take a bus around the resort to get to the bus to the parks. So that's a lot of folding and unfolding and carrying and tantrums and stuff like that. So these are things, just simple, basic things to think about.
Yeah. And, I think what you said to begin with about the amount of people that visit this city, the size of Disney World is amazing. I mean, if you do the math, you said 45 million people visit Disney every year, and each park, or at least the Magic Kingdom, can hold about 25,000 people per day. So that's 1,800 days worth of people a year, but there's only 365 days in a year. So there's 6 times the amount of people who visit Disney than are allowed to be in Disney on any given day. So
Yes.
If you're not planning your vacation 6 months in advance with someone that knows what time to book whatever it is that you want to do and knows what the options are available. If your dad was planning this for you, the day while you were there, y'all would not have even gotten tickets to go into the park, let alone, had dinner at any of the venues or anything like that. I mean, it's just the amount of people that travel through there is just unbelievable. So absolutely you need to have and work with someone who, knows what they're doing.
Well, and the parks don't behave the same way every day. I sort of joke that Disney is my stock market. So when I wake up in the morning, I pick up my phone and I look at the wait times because they're an hour ahead. So the parks may very well be open, early in the morning, and I'm checking the opening wait times right then. So, and then with my agency, there's about 30 of us. We've got someone in the parks pretty much all the time because we're always traveling. So we get kind of real-time updates. And I also follow, people don't really realize this is out there, like Disney is an industry. Disney vacationing is an industry. So there are whole businesses that they might have been stock analysts, but they choose to analyze park wait times instead. So we follow that. I subscribe to things where I'm watching wait times and I can predict what the better times are to ride different rides. And it's not the same in July as it is in October kind of thing. There are different people coming who do different things. The weather changes things. Certain rides with an outdoor component, say, if it rains, they have to shut down. So then all the traffic from those rides tends to go over to other areas of the parks. So that's different in the fall when it's more rainy than it is in May kind of thing. So if you're going to maximize your time, there's a lot of things to think about.
Like everything, working with and getting the right person to help you is always what's important. In my world, when I'm talking about marketing, lots of people can build a website for you and lots of people can publish something on Facebook or social media for you. But getting someone that can build a website that will actually drive traffic and cause people to take action and generate leads or write a Facebook update that will cause people to like, share, interact with, or contact you, that's a whole different ballgame. So, making sure that you're working with a travel agent that understands what you're looking to get out of your vacation and can help you not necessarily get the best bang for your buck, although that's important. It's have you experience the right things to create the right memories for the budget that you have is really important. So, Sandra, thank you very much for, dropping all this knowledge on us right now about even as simple as, how many people are going to be at Disney and when you should try to schedule and coordinate meals and ride and the work that you do helping them. So someone who's looking to to book a Disney vacation, or they're traveling with a special needs child, or they're just looking to go on a romantic cruise with their loved one, how would someone get in touch with you?
You can email me at Sandra@theenchantedtraveler.com. My phone number is 708-669-9089. And I have a Facebook page. It's facebook.com/magical vacations with Sandra. We also have an agency website, and I have a bio on that website, which is www.theenchantedtraveler.com. So any of those ways is perfect.
So if you have been cooped up through COVID and you're ready now to spend a little time traveling with your loved ones and experiencing something magical or something tropical or something whatever, I definitely think it's a good idea for you to call Sandra, get in contact with her. And when we come back from the break, Lauren and I are going to talk a little bit more about traveling and share with you something that Sandra shared with us, about Disney and why it's a great idea to start thinking about travel now for the next 18 months, because Disney's got some cool stuff going on. So Sandra, thank you very much for being on the show. We really appreciate it. And,
thank you for having me.
And we'll be right back after these commercials from our sponsors. This episode of What's Sizzlin' is brought to you by Creative Sizzle, an award-winning marketing agency that builds brand and drives sales. Did you know that SEO and SEM are very different? While many people have a hard time differentiating between the two, we have had many years of experience building effective SEO, search engine optimization, and SEM, search engine marketing plans. Creative Sizzle makes it possible for your business to be seen at the top of popular search engine result pages. Whether you're looking for free, organic tactics, or want to spend some cash to see results, Creative Sizzle can help with your digital marketing. Visit creativesizzle.com to learn more. This episode is brought to you by awesome employers that let you bring your pets to work every single day. In fact, while we're all still working remote or haven't gone back after the pandemic, you are your own boss. So here's to you, Dexter, for interrupting all of my Zoom calls and making sure people know you are in the background. Welcome back to the What's Sizzlin' podcast, where we just had Sandra Chu on, the Enchanted Traveler. Lauren, what did you think about that episode?
I thought it was great. I thought it was very informative. Some things I really did not know. It was very interesting to learn about Wings for Autism, that, families can go ahead of time, notify TSA. I mean, those are things that somebody like me who does not have a family member who is autistic, it's nice to know that there are those kinds of services for people. I think that's great.
Yeah. What I liked about it was I've been to Disney and it's super crowded every time I go, and you always got to wait in line, and there's, everyone complains about that. And I didn't really realize until Sandra shared the numbers why that is the case. I mean, 45 million people every year visiting Disney, where there's 6 times the capacity of a park in Orlando on any given day. It's amazing to even think about how big it is, bigger than the size of 2 major cities in the United States. That's certainly why you would need, why it's a good idea to have someone like Sandra helping you plan not only your trip, but all the things you do there, and, giving you the insight about how you should spend your time and where you should go when, and how to make it the most efficient and memorable experience that you can have. And again, not only there at Disney, but even if you were going on a cruise or traveling with a special needs person, I definitely like and think it's important to have this kind of a travel agent help you whenever you're thinking about going away.
I agree. I mean, we're a Disney family. I absolutely love Disney. And I wish I had known Sandra when I was doing it, because I planned them all myself. And doing the breakfast with the princesses and trying to get in and book our breakfast, it was so hard and frustrating.
Yeah. It
would have been nice to have somebody who could have helped me, because they know better than I do what's the right time to go on to try to do that.
Exactly. I mean, how can you have breakfast with the princesses and not see Ariel? It would be a lost cause. Yeah, terrible.
Snow White, all of them.
Well, yeah, but still, Ariel's the best of all of them. Who's your favorite princess?
Mine? Mm-hmm. Probably Snow White.
Snow White?
Yes, because I like the little dwarfs.
Yeah, the 7 dwarfs. Yeah, that's
They're kind of my favorite. Mm-hmm. Dopey.
Yeah. Dopey is your favorite?
Dopey is my favorite.
There you go. Yeah, no, Sebastian the Crab is the best Disney character ever. You know,
Yeah,
he's like right up there with Olaf, but I gotta say Sebastian is for sure the best. And
Yeah,
again,
he's pretty cool.
yeah, pronunciation is Ariel. We have those kinds of arguments and conversations in my house for sure, because everyone's like Ariel. I'm like, no, there's no such thing as Ariel. It's Ariel. But yeah, I like Disney. I like the Disney movies, and I've been to Disney. But I'm an adrenaline junkie, and when I'm going to go on a ride, I want to go fast. I want to go fast. So, anyways, if you're looking at a travel, if you're going on a cruise, if you're looking for a tropical vacation, if you're going to a beaches, if you're going to a resort, definitely reach out to Sandra at theenchantedtraveler.com at 708-669-9089. Oh, and we were going to share with you that for the next 18 months, Disney's, it's their 50th anniversary, their 50th birthday. So they have a ton of specials and incentives and reasons for you to visit Disney for the next 18 months. It starts October 1st and continues for the next 18 months. So if you are like Lauren and my sister and brother-in-law and love Disney so much, the next 18 months are for you. And you definitely need to reach out to Sandra at theenchantedtraveler.com, 708-669-9089. And with that, thank you for joining us this week for another episode of What's Sizzlin'. Each week, we talk about what's new in business and marketing, where together with our special guests, we share our thoughts on specific tactics and stories that will help you in your business or personal life. Make sure to tune in every Monday to keep on top of what's sizzling. And head over to iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. It really does help out the show. If you would like more information on today's guest, becoming a guest yourself, or you need marketing support, head on over to creativesizzle.com/whatssizzlin'. Thanks again. I'm Mitch Levinson.
I'm Lauren Pond.
And we'll see you next time.